Hi all, this video is gonna be like a short tutorial on HTML5 canvases, and I guess you could say HTML5 canvases is one of the most important features that HTML5 introduced, and it is what basically killed Flash-based stuff online, and it allowed developers to create multimedia content that could be programmed right into their page using JavaScript and HTML5, and it was very efficient and effective. And this is like a small snakes game I made that is running entirely on HTML canvas, and it's fun, and I think it's worth checking out if you want to like make small games or using small stuff and embed it in web pages and whatnot. So yeah, I'm assuming that you know something about HTML and JavaScript before you do this, because it is done entirely in HTML and JavaScript, and if you don't know about them, it's recommended you learn about it online. There are plenty of tutorials available. It's pretty much easy to do it. It's not even difficult. It's like a very easy thing. HTML and JavaScript. Anyway, I'll show you how to create a canvas, how to draw something in a canvas, how to bring text onto it, and something about event listeners, I guess. So yeah, let's crash this link. Cool. So you need a good ID to do this. This is just a basic version. Oh yeah, the Google Doodles, by the way, is done using HTML5, and it's one of the things that shows how effective it can be. Anyway, I'll just use Notepad for this, but I usually use Adobe Dreamweaver. You can stuff for me HTML choose an ID of your choice. So the first step is I'll name it Canvas tutorial. Okay. Yeah, it's a lot more comfortable. It's a lot more comfortable if you actually use proper ID than Notepad. Then you can just directly jump into stuff. Canvas, which is the element, and we have to assign an ID onto it so that can be used by our JavaScript code. So I'll go for stage, and we'll just close it right there. And yeah, that's pretty much the HTML part of it. The rest is completely JavaScript. So in between our script tags right here, we'll be writing down our JavaScript code. If you're actually making a program of a considerable size, then you should really be putting JavaScript on a separate file and not as part of HTML. But this one's going to be a really tiny program, so I think it's fine. We'll define a variable. Okay, it'll be stage, which will be the object which represents the canvas. So document.get element by id stage. Right, this is like a JavaScript code to get an element, and our canvas has the id stage, so it takes the canvas, and yeah, basically that. So the next thing we need to do is to define a context, which is what we will be using to draw everything onto the canvas. So the by default, not by default, I mean by convention it's named as CTX, but you can give it whatever you want. CTX equals stage dot get context 2D, because you'll be doing only 2D drawing here. There is a 3D get context, but that's like WebGL and stuff. That's a whole different level. Then we can go on to define the should actually do here the length and the height and the width of the stage. So we can just set it right here. Width equals 500. It's in pixels, by the way. It has to be in pixels. Stage dot height is equal to 500. Right. We'll just save this, and that's a good idea to do that. Okay, save this as an HTML file, and that draws the canvas, basically a canvas of width 500 pixels and height 500 pixels, and we have the context. Now we can just directly jump ahead into printing stuff, but before that we need a background for this canvas. So when you need a background, what you basically do is draw a giant rectangle that fills up the entire canvas, and that the color of that rectangle will be your background color. That's how you do it. And how you draw a rectangle is basically CTX which is our context element, by the way. So we have to use ctx dot for everything we want to draw on this canvas. So that's like a very important variable. Ctx dot draw rect the starting coordinates, which is 0 0, and the ending coordinates, which in our case is 500 500, since that is our length and our breadth. Fill style is an important element here, because fill style will determine the way in which the elements are drawn after that statement until you redefine it in some other place. So here you want a color to be say silver, so I'll just give it as fill style silver, and then when it draws a rectangle, the fill style of the rectangle, which is the color that is going to be inside the rectangle, will be silver. So it should work. Let me just open. That didn't it's not draw right, it's fill right. Yeah, I'm still we actually have a issue right here. The title tag is not closed, right? So this should work. Yeah, there you go. A silver box which represents the canvas we have just defined, 500 by 500. Now you can replace this 500 by stage.width and stage.height and have the exact same effect. That should change something. Yeah, there you go. So that is how you draw basically draw a box, and now we can move on to text. So ctx dot fill style, we'll change it. So once you do a fill style command, everything you draw after it will have the same fill style until you change it. So now I'm going to change it to black, and I'm going to write some text. So ctx dot fill text. You have to type in the text first, so I'll go for AGZ universe. Then the coordinates where the text will be printed, so I'll give 50 50. So the text will not be printed centered on 50 50, it will be like the top left corner of the text will be at the coordinate 50 50, like so. Okay, so the AGZ universe it's really tiny, so we'll make it larger. So before you do fill text, you can change the font. ctx dot font is equal to the size first, space, and the font family. So the size is 20 pixels. You try 20 px space. I'm changing the font to Impact, which is a very common font. So if you do this, there you go, larger and better. And that's how you write text onto it. And now we'll define drawing boxes in a better way. We'll use ctx dot begin path. So it is basically a more refined way of drawing things in a canvas. It will go from that to ctx dot stroke, and everything you put in between will be executed, and you don't have to bother about changing the fill style and things every time you want to draw something if you use this. So ctx dot fill, the commands are slightly arbitrary and they change around here and there, but you will just get used to it if you like occasionally do programming. And even I sometimes refer things on the internet. It's not a requirement that you have to by heart or remember everything. Just get used to it, or the internet is always available for you. So anytime you are in doubt of any command or something, you can just go ahead and Google it. So fill blue, yes, and ctx dot rect. So it's like the fill style became fill and the fill rect became rect. So you're just defining it separately. We'll give the coordinates as 100, 100, and I'll make it a 50-50 box, so 50-50. So remember, when you give 50-50 as the last two arguments in this function, it's not like starting at 100 and ending at 50. It's starting from 100 and it will move 50 pixels to the left or to the bottom depending on here, and it will draw a box like that. So here you have a 50 by 50 square starting from the coordinate 100 and 100. So and then we can change the border style by using stroke style, and we'll set it to black. So now we should have a blue box with a black border. The coordinate 100 would be a size. Yeah, okay, the color is not blue. Yeah, this one is just fill style itself. You don't have to change that, right? Oh, right. You have to give a fill command here. ctx.fill. It's like you define a fill style, you define a rectangle, then you fill it, then you define a stroke style, and then you draw the stroke. Essentially, you draw the whole thing, and stroke is the border. So yeah, a blue rectangle with a black border. And now we will take it to a different level. Now I will show you how to make these boxes appear where you click. So it's like if you click on the screen, a blue box with a black border should appear on that point where you click. So since we already have a piece of code for drawing a blue box, the black border, we put this as a function so it can be used repeatedly. So let's put this as function draw box, and put it like that. And here we'll do something. We'll add something called an event listener. So ctx dot add event listener. So what it does is it literally listens to events like a click or a keyboard press or something, and it triggers appropriate functions depending on what you give. So here we want the event to be clicks. The first argument is the event that you want, your click, your double click, and so on. But now we'll just go for click and a comma, and then the function that you want to run when this event happens. So I'll just put in clk. We'll define that function now. We'll just define right here function clk. So this function will be executed every single time an event takes place, and the function should have event as an argument because that is an object passed to it. So we should declare two variables globally first. We'll get the x coordinate and the y coordinate of the mouse click, so we know exactly where in the screen the user pressed. So we'll just define it globally, x and y, so we don't. So we have, so that we can use it outside the function. That is something to do with that. Event dot client x, which is again something arbitrary. That word, that particular word client x with a capital X, that is something arbitrary. And similarly y is client y, event dot client y. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Now the variables x and y will have the coordinates of a mouse click, and what we need to do is to call the function drawbox on those coordinates. So we'll pass two arguments a and b, and the box will be, we'll draw the box from a and b. So instead of 100 we'll have a and b. Right, so we can call this function inside the event listener function. So we just call drawbox right here with x and y as the arguments. So now it should draw a blue box wherever you click. Yeah, there's a mistake right here. It has to be stage dot add event listener or window. You're not adding an event listener to the context. You're adding it to the canvas, or you can use the window or the document, but now we're just adding it to the canvas, and it's stored in the variable stage, so it has to be stage dot add event listener. So we'll save that, run this, and yeah, a blue box where you click. I'm clicking right here, a blue box here, another box over here, and a box, and yeah, and that is how you respond to an event triggering in your system. And in a similar way, you can capture keystrokes and double clicks and other things. You can find a complete library of information online on this. Anyway, I think I'm winding up for this video, and I guess in future videos I'll introduce game loops, which is like a very crucial concept in making games in HTML5 canvas. It's like a loop that runs endlessly as long as your game runs, and a few other things that can, yeah, it's basically like a game tutorial. I guess it'll evolve in steps. I'm not getting much time lately, so it'll be a few, my videos will be few and far apart, but I will be posting it eventually. So thanks for watching, guys. This whole source code used right here can be found in the blog post. And speaking of which, do check out my blog, adsuniverse.blogspot.com. Link is in the description. And if you like this video, give a thumbs up. It'll be a huge encouragement to me. And if you don't want to miss any videos like this in the future, hit that subscribe button right now. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.